Okay, good afternoon. We are live and alive. And welcome, Christine. Welcome, welcome.
Thank
Welcome to
you.
our subscribers. Welcome to those who will subscribe. Welcome to those who will happen on this video and listen to what we have to say. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's almost the end of the first month,
Can you
and I've been
imagine?
trying to make, yeah, you know, that's why I tell me, no one, that's not a cliche. People need to say it and really know that's true. Right? So I decided to change up the format of our presentations a little bit and do a little bit more of current affairs, what's happening in the news, what's in the news, not going to, in other words, going to in-depth, but a little bit of it, and and then do our topic of the day. And our topic of the day came out of things I keep hearing. Right? And our topic of the day is really a question: are women canceling chivalry? Are women responsible for canceling chivalry? Has the Me Too movement gone too far? Are women taking things too seriously? So I'm not trying to underplay negativity in those areas, but I'm asking some questions. So Christian and I will explore that after we do our topic, our current affairs, which we start the program off with. So before we do that, I would just like to do our intro, and then we introduce ourselves, and then we get right into our juicy, juicy topic for today. So here goes. And there we are, right? That's
And
our
there we
intro.
are.
Yeah, and I want to talk today. Oh, before you see, I'm ready to jump the gun, right? Okay, I'm Cheryl Diane, or Diane, as my mother called me, and I'm an international keynote speaker. I'm a trainer, an author, and I do many things. I'm an image consultant, an esthetician. Let me tell you something. I wear so many hats. It's amazing, right? I'm just an amazing woman, and I pat myself on the back for that because I want to encourage women to stand up and say who they are and be proud of who they are. Pat yourself on the back and say, I'm good at what I do. This is who I am. So that's who I am. I am Louise, see Selman Louise. I think I'm the more rebellious one. And this is my friend Christine. So Christine introduced herself. She's the Louise of this. No, she's the Selma of this thing. You see, she's the Selma. She's the good one. She's the goody two shoes of the whole thing, right? So Christine introduced herself and let's get started.
Hi, ladies. Christine Francois, wellness coach, former banker, corporate communications executive, and event management consultant. So happy to be here again with you this week, Cheryl. I know we have a lot to talk about today. So, yeah, let's just jump right on into it.
Yeah, okay. So I want to tackle the Bryan. Now I have a brother called Bryan. He was very miserable as a little boy, but he's a good grown man, right? So I like the name Bryan. But the Bryans seem to be making the news these days for all of the wrong reasons, right? So we all know about Bryan Kohberger, the young man who has been arrested in the demise of the four youngsters, students in Idaho. Very unfortunate, young persons where their whole lives ahead of them taken away from this earth, without real reason, and my heart goes out to the parents. As a parent, who sometimes years later when my big man is out, I'm still waiting for him because he normally call and say, okay, I'm on my way home. Or if I don't hear a call, I'm waiting to see hear the car in the driveway. But as a mother, as a parent, I think that as a responsibility, that's what you do, right? So my heart goes out to those parents. So I'm never ever minimizing how they feel. I can't pretend to understand how they feel. And these young persons had their whole life ahead of them and it was taken away, unfortunately. But the young man who is in prison right now for that incident, he's not been convicted as yet. I also have a soft spot for him. So don't throw rocks at me. Listen to me first. He, from what I've listened to in the news, I don't know him. I don't even live anywhere near the United States. But from what I've heard about him is that as a boy at school, he was very, very bullied simply because he was chubby. I mean, I know many chubby men who I went to school with who had girlfriends. I know many chubby girls who had boyfriends. I mean, so I don't know if his chubbiness was different, you know what I mean, but he was chubby and he was bullied a whole lot. And then a lot has come out. I mean, that could put somebody in a really bad place if it's not dealt with. Maybe the parents were not aware of it, or maybe, I don't know, nobody dealt with it. I'm not sure. I'm not hearing of any kind of therapy session that happened because he was going through this thing at that time. It must have been difficult because, when we were at school, now as adults, I know if you don't live with my friend, that's okay. But at school, you kind of really want people to like you. To be going through this is kind of would have been kind of tough for him, right? It's how I feel. And then there was this girl whose mother came out to say that when they were, I think, middle school or something like that, which means they were kind of small, right? Young, that he kept telling her she was pretty. And he kept leaving little notes in her locker telling her he admired her, she was so pretty. And the mother was like, oh, that's so creepy. And all these people on the news, oh, that's so creepy. Well, call me stupid. I don't know. But I don't know what's creepy about that. Because to me, that's how young men approach young women. They say you're pretty, you're nice, start talking to you. I mean, to me, it's far better when people go like swiping left and right to see who's prettier than who and just looking at their face, right? This is like, remember that's our topic last week. This was like nothing. I mean, there's a borderline. If the person was keep standing outside the classroom or coming to your home all the time, no, that's a different story. But if you have a note saying that you're pretty, to me, that's a compliment. I remember my eldest son, first part what we call in Trinidad to be a common entrance. It is the entrance level to go into what we
High
call
school.
high school here, right? High school. And his first day of school, he came with a note on a brown paper saying, I like you. Do you want to be my boyfriend? A girl in the classroom passing this little note. They were like 11 years old. And he was like, so like, what? Who's just, look at this. And we had a big joke about it at home and everything. And of course, teasing him. He was like, no, I don't like this girl. Whatever it is, little boy kind of, small boy kind of something, right? Now he might be fond to her. You never know, right? But at that time, it was like kind of like shocking. And I didn't think she was creepy. I thought she was a very brave little girl who 11 years old and the boy like them. And the first day I met him, you know what I mean? And there's my younger son who also passed, the name has changed from common entrance to secondary exam assessment, something like this. It's not SEA. So he passed the same exam for his school as well, right? Number of years later. So they're some years apart. And one of his best friends today is a young man called Adam, who said walked up to him in the classroom and said, hi, my name is Adam. I could see Adam do that. My name is Adam, and I want to be your friend. Let's be buddies. And he looked at him and was like, who are you? But anyway, they became friends. And how many years later, they're like ring and finger. Adam's mother is like a second mother to him. I'm like a second mother to Adam. They are really good buddies. So was Adam creepy? Or was he gay? Or was he strange? Not really. He was a boy. He saw an ex-boy and he said, I want to be his friend. Maybe I like his personality. Let me walk up to him and make friends with him. And that was just that. So people have taken every single thing and turned it into a big, now I don't know if this young man is guilty or not. Maybe he just might be, or maybe he just might be not. People might be surprised. I don't know. But then there's the other term that's associated with him. This is a new, but it's a new word in a sense because only the last couple of months I've been here. He's an incel, meaning he's an involuntary celibate, meaning these are young men who can't find women to have sex with them. Now, listen to me. The obsession the world has with the sex thing, and if you don't have sex, something wrong with you. If you don't have sex with everybody, you have something wrong. I don't understand that. I don't know how they know that, right? Don't know how they know that. Another one says she was on a Tinder date with him because they matched on Tinder, and then he was touchy-feely, keep touching her, and she didn't like it, whatever. Okay, fine, so he didn't like it, and he didn't go to the in. But that made the news. I mean, what was so strange about that? He touched you, you didn't like it, and you didn't go on a second date with him. Why is that news? To me, they're trying to put these things together, paint this man into a corner. And as far as I'm concerned, as a mother now, not as a thing, I am saying that he's accused and convicted in public or the public opinion before he's even tried. And I don't know what's going to come out in the evidence that's going to come out. Something in defense of him a little bit that he's had. If all these things are true, and the girls didn't like him because he was chubby, and then he lost a lot. He's certainly not chubby now. He's very slim, and he's
Yeah.
lost all his weight, and then he's gone on to do so much with his life. He was actually this young man was actually on drugs at one time because he was
Wow.
touching his head. I guess, kind of like for me one whatever it is, and then he put himself out of that. He came out of all of that life, went back to school, right? Ended up with a bachelor's and a master's degree. I was actually studying for his PhD in criminology. I was a professor at the college of studying that. So when you study for PhD, you become like a teacher to some of the younger ones while you're studying. So this guy was at 28 years old, which means he's highly accomplished. But even that is being, everybody hear me rain?
Yes.
Even that is being made to sound as though it's something really bad. He studied all these things, so he knew what to do. There's so many criminologists in the I there are a couple of them I follow on YouTube. A young lady from Britain, her name is Danielle Kirsty, and another one who study criminology, and they have crime channels. I love to listen to them. They explain things so I mean, I just like to hear them. They're good at what they do, right? Some shouting for the readers loud. Right. Anyway. So I don't know that studying criminology makes you a criminal. What I'm trying to say is that sometimes some people who are talking and talking, you just my grandma would say dress back a little bit, step back a little bit, and wait for the real evidence and wait for things to come out. Wait for the real evidence to come out for them to fight first to find exactly what happened. So if he did this to these young people, he deserves to be punished, right? If he didn't do it, I mean, even if he didn't do it and he's proved innocent, let me tell you something. He would never have a good life again, as far as I'm concerned, because of the way of he's been spoken about in the media. I just say people to sit back and listen, think a little before they talk. Put yourself in that situation and see how you would feel. So there are many people who have been accused and spent time in jail, in prison. Some have even lost their lives. It turned out that they were not guilty at all. So you just need to be careful. The other one I'm going to talk about, which Christine will also add to, is the other Bryan, the Walshe Bryan. Hmm. Now, I know Michael Jackson did a song a couple of years ago called Smooth Criminal. It was one of my favorite videos of all time, Smooth Criminal. I could still see that dance, and I try to do it, and I wish I could do it, and I can't do it. But let me tell you something. They need to remake a song and call him the stupid criminal. He is stupid. Now, again, in the court of public opinion, but his evidence is like overwhelming. Just what the cameras picked him up doing the day this lady disappeared. Just the fact that he said she left to go to the airport, and when they called her phone, her first thing at the house, which means he got to move the phone, stupid criminal, right? And then he used his little child's iPad to do some internet searches, which were quite interesting. And oh my God, how long does it take for a body to decompose? How long does it take for a body to smell? Does ammonia destroy a body? I mean, and the list goes on and on. You can search it and find it yourself. His list of search was like, oh my God, was he writing a crime novel or was he just being a stupid criminal? So, Christine, have your say, and then we go into our topic for today.
Hi, everyone. So, yeah, Cheryl, you've said a lot with regard to the first case. As I mentioned to you before, I have not been following the Idaho 4, but just like you, I am to a parent, and I cannot say that I can begin to imagine how these folks feel. I would never want to feel that feeling, so I can only express my condolences and allow the judiciary process to work itself out. That would be it. Because as you said, so many times we may think something, we deduce things, we look at, maybe some of us are um, budding, or we are criminology enthusiasts, and we take evidence and we figure things out. But the reality is that Cheryl and I don't live in the US. That's number one. Number two, um, this crime against Anna Walsh was truly a heinous crime. it based on what I've read, and all I can do is offer again condolences to those three little infants, 2, 4, and 6 years old, three kids who are now without their mom, and they're also without their father. So the judiciary process, the investigations, all of the evidence is being collected based on what I saw up till yesterday. Being collected, some pretty damning evidence. But yeah, we will find out what really happened in due course. But when you look at all that is happening in the world and you're looking at all of these crimes, and it seems, Cheryl, that we are talking about some pretty awful things happening almost every single week, it begs a bigger question. What the heck is going on in this world? There's so much evil about. But I also want people to remember that there's also so much good happening in the world as well. It's really very, very I think even the word unfortunate is just it just does not hit home. I think it's just a really, really devastating thing to especially think about Anna Walsh's mom, who says that her daughter called her and because she was sleeping, she missed the call. Think about her mom. Think about those three little boys. And for me, there's just a lot of sadness. And again, what is the word I'm looking for, Cheryl? Another indicator that people are on the edge. People are on the edge, mental capacity, capabilities, um, something is really very off kilter, and if and it's also a crime against a woman. You know, so we're looking at a lot of a convergence of some really awful. Um, it's just devastating to me. It's evil. It's devastating. It just makes me feel very sad to think that a woman would go through something like this and now these children no longer have a mom, you know?
Yeah. It's called sin. That's what's happening in the world. It's called
Big
sin.
time.
If you believe in God and believe in the Bible, it's written there. You're gonna have wars and rumors of wars and all kinds of stuff, strange things happening all over the place. It is crazy, right? We just need to continue to pray for our families, protect ourselves and our families, and for the women who are going to get involved in relationships with men, just be careful with who you're getting involved in. I had a thought, because before we move on from this part of today's presentation, I had a thought recently, and I'm saying, as women who have achieved a certain amount in life and have crossed, the middle-age barrier and, be saying we're not babies anymore. If we were to meet partners now, you don't want somebody who's now starting out in life or somebody who doesn't have anything. You want somebody who come and compliment what you have and to make you comfortable. So this part of life is to be happy until, because I say the road is 10 feet long, we have reached it maybe 7 3/4, and we have the rest to go, you know what I mean? So listen, we need for the rest of it to be happy and comfortable. So we don't want to go through trials that we did when like maybe we were 19, 20, 21 years old, right? But the thing about it, if I meet somebody now who's wealthy and who has the big house and driving the cars and the car or have the cars and stuff, let me tell you something. My whole brain will go towards finding out how he made that money. And it wouldn't be to inherit anything. It would be to make sure that he is not involved in some kind of scam or scheme to live the lifestyle he's living. Because it has happened too many times in life. And I would want to know, I remember years ago, this is years ago, before the world became, it was probably corrupted, but we didn't have all this internet and things. Everything was beginning of the internet and stuff. I had a client who tried to date a guy, and he was a businessman.
Right.
And was driving all these nice cars and stuff. She was very comfortable, well off and everything. Had her own home, had a job as an accountant with one of our big companies. Someone called in with the company because but she works for this one of our larger international companies and as an accountant and stuff. So she was well established, you know, and never married, and then probably at that time maybe in her 40s. Um, so you know, I was probably still in my 30s, so I was probably thinking she was old, whatever. But anyway, so probably in her 40s somewhere, and she met this person. I remember she was so happy. I mean, like so happy. She kept talking about him and all these dinners he'd go to. Welcome to someone is here. Listen to us. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this channel. Yes. And you know, she was so happy that this person she had met this person. And it turned out that one night somebody came, the police came to her house.
Hmm.
The police came to her house. They came to find out about her. And she was like, well, what? He was a real criminal, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. Apparently, he was very heavily involved in the drug trade. So
Wow.
the fancy house and the fancy cars and all the expensive dinners and all the gifts she was getting came from there. Let me tell you something. I don't know if she ever dated again. I know she went into a shell. She had to get therapy. She went into shock
Wow.
and almost hit herself. She had to take time off from work, special leave from work, her job. She couldn't even function because she went into such shock. And then that same thing happened to Anne Hathaway a couple of years ago. If you remember that, before she got married, before she was married to that guy she was dating, so publicly because she's a public figure, and he turned out to
Okay.
be some big time schemer.
Oh
Yep. Mm-hmm.
yes, yes. Anne
Yes, yes,
Hathaway.
yes,
She
yes.
was she
Anne
was
Hathaway.
devastated for a long time, doubted
Because
herself.
this is, yes, this is a public something. So I would say, listen, why we all of us need comfort, and we love to have the lovely home and the nice dinners and the nice car to drive. You know, nothing wrong with that. Because there are a lot of people who genuinely have those things. And
Yes.
to add to yours, I would say, do your due diligence. Do your due diligence when you meet someone. That's the nature of the beast, nature of the time we are living in. And you know, folks, like my good friend will say, that's all I have to say about that. And today's topic, before we get into today's topic, I want to take a word to be our own sponsors. We don't have sponsors yet. So, Christine Francois is a wellness coach, and you can get in touch with her anytime, any place. If you go to our description box, you'll see her link tree linked there. If you go to that link, you'll find everything you want to find about Christine and to connect with her in terms of wellness. So she's one of our sponsors for today. The other sponsor for today is myself. You go to my link tree, you could find out everything about me, get in touch with me. Let's connect, right? And I've got some books on Amazon, including a journal and a daily planner, which you can purchase. And that's the word today from our sponsors. And now on to our topic for today. Are women canceling chivalry? Is chivalry dead? Has the Me Too movement gone too far? Cheryl, why that topic? Well, it came off of the Kohberger thing and some of the other things I keep hearing on the internet. If a man tells you you're pretty, it means he's creepy. Really? I would not like to be a guy. I have two sons, and I would not like to be a guy in today's day. Because to me, nothing that a man says to a woman, ain't every single thing a man says to a woman nowadays can turn out to be something that's wrong. From how I'm hearing it. How people get into people's lives, I don't know. They Google you and they find you, and because they don't see you with a partner, you become an incel. And that makes you a criminal, that makes you a murderer, that makes you a thing like that. I mean, there's so many people cannot live in the Caribbean. Because we know, we walk on the street, maybe not so much again, but in my days of growing up, and guys will just be like, wow, look at those legs. Wow, you're so pretty. And they meant nothing by that. They were just being, fresh, for the better thing. So you could smile and pass them, or sometimes you let them put their head up in the air and walk straight past them, you know what I mean? Because some of them you knew, your brother's friends, and you're kind of like, oh, please, give me a break, right? you know, and
Right.
but they didn't mean anything, but they were not criminals, right? They didn't mean, there's nothing wrong with that. These were men who were just complimenting him. You know, I remember walking down the street in San Juan, a place in Trinidad, in East Trinidad called San Juan, right? And I'm walking, minding my business. And a certain gentleman, he's older now, he doesn't really use a lot, but he's been in news of Trinidad and Tobago for a while. He was somebody people knew. And I saw him, recognized him, and I passed him, and I just said, good afternoon there. And he said, wow, you have some energy, girl. You sent some shivers down my spine, right? And I was like, what? Well, I kept on going. I didn't stop to talk to him, of course, you know. But he didn't, he lived his whole life a very decent man.
Yes.
There have never been any criminal charges. He just expressed what he felt. I passed. And he felt like, whoa, that's a nice energy, boy. Whoa, nice, nice. You know? And in his mind, he was complimenting me. And the day of Me Too now, he probably end up in a court. Or end up in the media, you know, on Instagram or something. And he was creepy and he was this and he was that. Which was none of that is the case. None of that. He just simply felt energy. People meet and they tell you something, they meet and they feel energy. And they connect like that, like that. Some people call it chemistry. Some people call it whatever. It even happens with women together with other women. You meet somebody for the first time and you connect with that person and you all become friends. Nothing more, you just become friends. So I think there needs to be a line drawn when people make these, especially people who have influence, who are out there on the YouTube streets and the Instagram streets and the TikTok streets, where they have all of these thousands of followers. They need to be careful with their language. Because to me, chivalry is not dead for me. I still want a man to compliment me. I still want a man to feel, wow, you're beautiful. I still want a man to open a door for me. I still want a man to send me flowers. I still want a man to be a man around me, right? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Nice deal calling me this time. Okay. She hung up, right? I'll call her back. Today's what? Monday. Why is Dean
Monday.
calling me? I'll call her back. Okay. Because we don't talk on Mondays, but she made sure to ask me something. Right? Anyway. Yeah, so we need to be careful. There are creepers out there. Let me just say this. There are some strange happenings with people around outside there. And we ought to be careful, as I said just earlier. You know, be careful who we connect with, careful who whatever it is. But everybody who compliments you is not a criminal. We need compliments from men. We need compliments. And we don't always want the Photoshop picture to be liked on Instagram by a whole bunch of women. Or for somebody to look at you and tell you something about yourself. Like somebody told me some time ago that I was looking and I was old, you know, and I was a whole joke about it. I laughed about it. I said to myself, well, you know, if you think so, but hear what? If in response to that, I say, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, for allowing me to grow old gracefully, because you know, the alternative to being old is, you know, well, not being here, flat line, right? Sometimes I'm not
Correct.
flat line, and I make a joke out of it, right? I remember in the early days of Periscope, if anybody remember Periscope, that was the
Oh,
first thing before Instagram and stuff. I
blast
did a
from
video.
the past.
Yeah. No, not so long ago, you know, this thing that keep changing very quickly. But I mean, I did something that was 2016, early 2016, that Periscope thing. And somebody said to me, you have a face like a paper bag. So that was a joke. I was like, okay, what type of paper bag? Is the pretty one with a nice branding on the outside? What type of paper bag? I don't know what that meant by that. But we have to understand that there are people who just sit there and wait to troll. They sit there and just wait to come in and say things. And if you take that seriously, it could turn you back from your mission in life. One of
Correct.
our people on YouTube I looked to, a young lady called Monroe Steele, beautiful young lady. She said she almost quit in the beginning because people were telling her she didn't meet the mark of beauty. She wasn't pretty enough. She wasn't this and that enough. And some of her friends at the top of the village say, no, 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 you're not giving this up. You're good at what you do. And today, she's big in the game. Had she given in to that, she would have walked away from that. Right? So that's my take for now about that. And Christine, the floor is yours to share.
Chivalry.
Are women canceling chivalry?
Well, some for for many reasons, over the last 40 years or so, women have had to make it on their own. And it's been unfortunate, but I think sometimes I tend to agree with you. Sometimes we've taken it so far. I won't get into the Me Too aspect of it, but just looking on at how some women behave, whether it's in the corporate spaces where they believe if they are to succeed as men succeed, they've got to behave like men. And listen, ladies, we were built differently because we have a whole set of strengths that men could never imagine. So, chivalry, when I looked it up, what comes to mind from from school days all the way to now is those knights and how they behaved. So it was back in those times, and I'll tell you what it said. Chivalry is the medieval and knightly system. It was a system with its own religious, moral, and social codes. So it was applicable to knights and not commoners. Now, in today's environment, each of us would be deemed a commoner. So are we being held to knightly standards? It's something that commoners would aspire to, whether or not they became knights. But commoners, men aspired to be like these knights, and it was romanticized. And so I found some interesting information. So knights were supposed to display, I just love this, bravery, strength, and skill in battle. So that was their prowess. They were supposed to respect women. I love that one, guys. I love that one. To defend the weak and the poor, to be generous to others, to be loyal, well, to the lord of the land, but in this instance, we look at being loyal to family and friends, and to behave at all times with courtesy. And courtesy included, of course, behavior and fighting. So I just shared a number of words, ladies, that I think certainly if any gentleman wanted to, let's say, court me, would need to display. There would be courtesy, there would be kindness, there would be, what else did I say? There would be respect. Now, who wouldn't want a gentleman to be those things? I think all women want men to respect them. I think all women want men to be courteous and kind to them. So, are we canceling chivalry? Potentially. I mean, some of the data shows that the way women have been treating men over time, it's pretty much emasculated men, leaving them not willing to do things that are chivalrous for women. So yeah, I think so to a certain extent, Cheryl. I think we are eating, eroding a man's desire to be kind and generous because listen, men just intrinsically were meant to fix things. I was listening to an interview. Who was it with? I can't remember right now. I know one was Bishop T.D. Jakes, but there were others. And psychologists say that the way men are built, they're built to fix things. So when a woman comes to, let's say, her spouse and says, oh my gosh, if I could tell you what happened today, a man's innate reaction is, I love this woman. I want to fix it for her. I don't want her to be upset. Now, if a woman says, "Why are you trying to fix this for me? I can handle this myself," you're taking away the opportunity to have him do something really wonderful for you. So out there in the world of young people and courting, Cheryl, I have no clue, like what's going on in this with younger people. And my kids are pretty settled in the way they are in their relationships. But I think, it's also in the way we raise you and I, Cheryl, and other moms raise their boys, and how women raise their girls. So it's in child rearing, it's in the school system, it's what we applaud, it's what we encourage, and what we kind of have concessions for. So that's my take on it. I really do believe that men want to be kind and respectful, but we too have a part to play in how we shape our environment, and we have to start with our kids.
The thing is, there's so much influence out there, and I think a
Mhm.
lot of this um, what I see as cancellation comes from the influence. I think it's cool to say that because I was listening to one person speaking about it, right? And she was emphasizing really pretty about how this guy told the girl she was pretty. She said no telling and she was pretty, right? And I look at she's a young woman, and I listen to her, you know what I mean? And she's married with children, and I heard her saying over and over again, "Oh my God, they are so creepy." And the way she was saying it, I know that her thing was probably for clicks and likes. That she probably felt that she said it like that and kept emphasizing about how creepy this was and how, oh my God, he said she's pretty. Oh my God, he told she's pretty over and over. Oh my God. I think she was looking for likes and things. Unfortunately, there are a lot of others who would look to her because she has so many followers and subscribers and
Right,
think that she knows what she's saying. And therein lies the problem. So now, one of those young ladies who probably a fan of hers, because I'm a fan of hers, I like her content, except when she says nonsense like that,
right,
and tries to overemphasize something that's really not something, you know. Um, the impact they have on others' minds is a big deal. So
right,
another young lady might be listening to her because they're all these people her followers, and because she's done so well, and they aspire to do well as well. May just kind of fall into a rabbit hole. Let me tell you, we live in a strange time. People fall into rabbit holes so easily. That's amazing. It's amazing. And when you have a platform of influence, you need to be careful how you say things, right? I would declare that there's nothing wrong with a young man telling a young lady that she's pretty.
of course
There's
not.
nothing wrong with a young man pursuing somebody. What's the pursuing? I mean, like, call you, invite you out. You might want to go, okay, he take all the time again. Then probably get his friend to invite you something where you hanging out at. He is trying to shoot a shot. And everybody who does that is not creepy. And the point I'm trying to get, because everybody who does that is not a stalker or somebody who has um, unpleasant intentions,
Intentions,
right?
correct.
But what is being displayed nowadays? People have to decipher and understand the difference between the sensationalism, like somebody taking one line and going over and over again and saying, "You see what Christine this morning? Oh my God! You see what Christine? Oh my God! Christine opened the door. Oh my God! It's Christine crazy? Oh, jeez, Christine is so crazy! Wow!" And they speak like that. And there are people, because they have on this platform, where there are so many people following them, so many followers, it becomes like a norm. And people absorb these things and become their truth. And we have to be careful as people who have some type of influence over anybody at all to know that we have to be careful with our words. And these people are very powerful. So let me tell you something. I'm trying to get, I think last year I got like 30 subscribers. I don't remember any further than that, right? It's been creeping. It went from 10 to 30. Hello, trying to join my channel. Thank you, Jesus, right? But there are people who have 1 point something million, 600,000, right? You imagine you have that amount of those number of people persons who will subscribe to your channel. You have made an impact. So therefore,
Correct.
I feel when you have gotten to that level, you need to say things that will make a positive impact. But unfortunately, the world is very negative, and everything is about making things sound bad. Everything is about making things sound bad, like words like incel. That's an insult. Because I know people who, I know a female, it's a female, not a male, who we're friends. I haven't spoken to her for a while. Maybe I should get in touch as I've spoken about her now. She came to mind now. Who's never had a dating experience. A very nice person. Very, very nice person. She's never had a relationship. Never married, never had children, and never had a relationship. There was one person who was interested in her, and because she grew up with his old aunt, when I
Yeah.
said to her, they were old and very, 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 very. They were worse than the queen. Let me tell you something. They were like that, right? They were all teachers and lived in this house together, wear the clothes like little nuns, and they were very, very circumspect. Very nice ladies, eh? But they were like that. But this guy works at a company she works for. This guy works there, and he was one of the security officers there, right? And because she worked in, I don't know, maybe I think she worked in the warehouse and whatever she did, they said that he was not good enough for her. He's a security officer. Did he know where you live? Did he know what school you went to? The young man could have very well been a nice person. You don't know, but they just come to them because of his job title.
Correct.
So she stepped back, and the guy kept asking her out, and she didn't go out. She never went out with him. And she said to me, Cheryl, I have never experienced like getting a Christmas gift from a loved one. Never experienced having a Valentine's dinner or something special for Valentine's. A nice trip with somebody thing. She's never experienced romance.
So sad.
Is she an incel? No. No, she's not. I wouldn't label her that way. Unfortunately, that's how her life turned out for her, right? Because we all know romance is beautiful. Being in love is a wonderful thing. Getting attention from a guy, it's a really beautiful thing. You know what I mean? Getting gifts, having a Valentine bouquet delivered to your house or to your office is a beautiful thing. I mean, if you never experienced that, then you need to get somebody to do it at least once to see how it feels. That's tough. But come on top of that person's, for want of a better term, ill-fated destiny then, right? To add a title like incel to that, to me, is very cruel.
It is.
The word is being used. How many people trip off and do nonsense? Like one guy, I mean, he went on a live in spring and then on a live himself. Unfortunate, but maybe people didn't tease him. I'm not saying he was right. I'm not taking up him at all. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying maybe he wasn't teased. Because he was quite good looking, very good looking actually. He had some money. He had a beautiful car. He dressed well. What was his reason for things? And it could have been one person who started that and say, "Oh, he creepy." It went to another person saying, "Oh, he creepy," and then everybody, because he never liked him, didn't want to go near him because other people who were popular were saying he was creepy. That kind of, or maybe it could have been a girl. I've seen it happen. Who wanted his attention, and because he didn't give it to her, she started a rumor about him. I've seen it happen. And then the whole of the community went into a whole thing about it. You never know what could have happened. Unfortunately, he's no longer here on this planet. And I think about 6 years ago went with him on that day because he did what he did before he before he took his own self out. Unfortunate. But people need to be careful what they say about others. And the bottom line is we need to be careful how we live and never like nicknames. Do not like nicknames. Do not tease people. You don't know what could trigger a person. Do not do it. It's an awful thing. And women, I want to tell you all something. That chivalry is not dead. We still need men to respect us, to compliment us, to treat us like a lady, hold your hand while you walk in, tell you something nice every single day. We still need it. To come in the morning and meet a little gift on your desk. It brings a smile to your face. to come and get a little card during the day, get a phone call. I remember my days to get a little phone call during the day, or a little message on the phone saying, I'm thinking of you.
Of
Those are
course.
beautiful things.
It
Nothing can
is.
make it way better than that happen. And then you're all day working nights and you can't wait to see me in the afternoon because guess what? You just back in the middle of the day, I'm thinking of you. And instead of smile back at them, thinking of you too. I mean, so that's not creepy. Let's get it right. So there are creepy guys out there. Let's learn how to distinguish between the two and stop generalizing and saying some of these negative things that we keep saying all the time. And it really is. We are in this simple world we live in. It's crazy. It is crazy. No joke. What say you, Christy?
Well, I'll tell you something. We were meant to live in community. We weren't meant to be isolated. And when we add names like incel, someone who's already feeling insecure and almost like an outcast, to add another label to that person is just putting them further. And so many times it can send people into depression. And in
Yeah.
depression, people do all sorts of things. They're not thinking in their right mind. You know, again, with community, we want to be part of something. We want to feel loved. We want to feel cherished. We want to feel that people like us. And I'm just thinking about what you were saying, the neighborhood that you and I grew up in. Yeah, you're right. um just today, Cheryl, I had to go and do some business outdoors, and the first young man, because I think he's in his 30s, who met me, he said, "Oh, I really love your boots." I said, "Oh, thank you. That's so nice of you to say." And we had a lovely conversation about that. And then I met another man because I was going to the hospital today to donate blood. And another gentleman's another a security guard, Cheryl. He saw me. I was going into the blood bank, and he said, "Oh my goodness, Miss, I love your boots." And I said, "Well, thank you so much. I'm happy that you like it." And that was it. There was nothing else beyond that. And or someone else said, "Oh my Lord, you look so nice." And I would either say thank you, I would just bow, something to acknowledge that they said something decent. They were courteous. They weren't being nasty, you know. Um, People also like to feel appreciated for the kind words that actually come out of their mouths. So it really is about us just being kind to each other. Yes, there are people out there who are disturbed, who are not in their right minds, who need help. But by
Mhm.
and large, most of us probably won't come across someone like that unless they're a narcissist, and there seem to be an increasing number of those around.
Yeah.
Um, but the thing is that most of the people in our circles, they're good, decent people. And people want to feel appreciated. We want to feel appreciated. Men want to feel appreciated. And you know what, ladies? We have so many strengths that come from the fact that we are women. We are women, we are beautiful, we are strong, but we don't need to hit anybody over the head with the fact that we are strong. When Cheryl's mom and my mom were rearing us, they were strong women. My mom never worked, but she managed the finances of the home. She made sure that we were all comfortable. We always had meals. Our clothes were always organized, pressed, etc. And she took care of my dad as well. So in my books, she was a professional. My dad was the person who provided. He treated her with courtesy and respect. Don't we all want that? Don't we
Yeah.
all want to have our
Um,
own
of
roles?
course.
Men are designed to be men. And yes, Cheryl, like you, I want my special guy to pull pull the chair from the table and allow me to sit. I want him to open the car door and then go around to drive. I want him to give me a call and tell me, I just love you and you are amazing. I want all of those things, but he has to be a man and I get to be a woman. And there's power in that, ladies. So that's my take on it, my darling Cheryl.
Yep, yep. And and that's a good point to end on, because let me tell you something. Um, the last point I want to make is that those persons with the platforms of influence, with all the followers and subscribers, who people follow all the time, I need for them to be careful about their language, need to really stay out there, because there are people who are holding on to everything that they say. Not every man is a creep. Now there are creeps. We know that, right? But there are also female creeps. So let's not get twisted. I feel only men could do it, right? There are women who are just really not nice either, and they've done things. There was an episode recently, I think I spoke about it some time ago on Dr. Phil, where the catfish was actually a woman who was married, very unhappy, didn't have a lot of weight in her house, sat in a corner every day, her husband left work, and all she did was troll other women who she was envious of. And they thought they were talking to a man. So let me tell you something. All the creepiness doesn't always come from men. And relax a little bit. Use a sense of observation a little bit. A guy in your office passing with any wink at you and says, sweetie, how you going? Don't take it as something as though he's taking your clothes off. It doesn't always mean that. Right? I heard somebody recently defend Matt Lauer. He was sent away from his job because of whatever it was, right? And they're saying that he was unjustified. I don't know. I didn't work there. I don't know, right? Because the thing that was said about him, those women who were in relationships with him, they knew. So whether we upset him because of his infidelity, but he had a wife or has a wife, right, or not. I mean, it didn't give him the right to step out on his wife. But if they went there willingly, it didn't give them the right to set him up, for him to be scandalized internationally.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if this is true, to be scandalized internationally, lose his job and all of that. I mean, I don't think he'll ever get poor. The money he made, he's good. But the fact of the matter is, his name is tarnished for life.
Correct.
And sometimes we need to be careful what we say, because from that, people like saying, and somebody will come and clean and say, no, that wasn't my guy. So get some bleach, clean that mark off, it's white again. That's not true. But there are others who will always keep looking for that stain, and they will never want to see it removed. Because there are people whose mind operate like that. Their minds operate like that. There's negativity all the time. We need to be careful. If you have a voice, I have a platform here. It's not big as yet, but I'll tell you something. I will always be careful what I say here, because I don't want to influence anybody the wrong way. Never ever do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to influence persons the wrong way. I will say what I have to say. I give my take on top. Bryan Kohberger is not yet convicted. Let's give the young man a chance. Let's think about his life, right? There's nothing wrong with him. You keep saying, look at his eyes, look at his this. He didn't make his eyes. He has that kind of staring kind of eyes. But those are his eyes. This is the only person you work with eyes like that. I mean, they just keep picking on things and picking. So he's been picked on. He's become a big man, and now this happened, he's now being picked on. Everybody deserves a life. Christ came and died for all of us. You know what? And that's the Bible thing. Christ came and died for everybody's life. And we ought not to be so judgmental, because if he did what he did, and the court find him guilty, he will pay. But in the meantime, people, chillax now. Chillax. And stop pounding a nail in the coffin of a young man who's not dead yet. You'll kill it. You'll have to kill them off. But he's not dead yet. And I'm just, my defense on him as a human being, not for anything that he did that was wrong. I don't know. I wasn't there. And like I said again, my heart and all my sympathies go out to the families of these poor young persons. Unfortunately, they didn't get to live as how we lived and get to the stage where we could do what we need to do. they didn't get to do it, and if he's the one who did it, then there's a God. And every consequence, every action has a consequence.
Yeah.
That's all we have to say about that this week. And next week, we'll tackle some more current topics and have a topic for the day. How's it sound? Really? I love it. Remember our sponsors, Linktr.ee, Christine Francois, down in the description, Linktr.ee, cheryldianspeaks, right down we are all sponsors until we get sponsored. So connect with us. We'll see you all next week. Same time. Well, maybe same. This was a good time, you know. We'll discuss if we're going to change our time. But we change from 1 to 2 today, which is fine with me, right? Next week, maybe same time, but definitely same channel. See you all. Good to see you. Thank you.